and then the second one came down to the Senate versus the court in that sense. So when I looked at it and looking at the way that the election rules were set up, I thought it was kind of funny that all these problems started erupting after the elections, and that there was like no safety area where it promised if the constable or any really body students were able to vote. If something like that were to happen, how it wouldn't be able to have a quick fix. So really, it just seems like when it comes down to the election rules, a lot of things have to be a lot clearer. And a lot of that, when you look at it also is that transparency between the election rules and the actual Constitution itself. Because it seems like with that, it seems that they kind of contradict themselves in some manners. And it seems that we really have to use fine to go through both to have that unclear language followed.
Ben, you have the floor next, and then Paul will come back to you. Ben, Paul.
On behalf of Brad, I just want to say I know most of us were around last year. I remember him as assistant to Stephanie, and he was excellent. Like, I think he was a very, very good justice, and I really told that person.
Mike, you have
I'm going to yield the floor to Skylar again.
This year, the council, A&S Freshman Council, had a debate. Spencer Scruggs and Carrie Mattingly and those people were in charge of it. And before the debate started, Alex Frohmeyer came in, Chief Justice Frohmeyer came in and pulled Spencer aside and gave him kind of a rundown of what he was and wasn't allowed to do. Unfortunately, the court only held it for itself one debate. The court, has the power to take away people's votes, and it traditionally hasn't done its job. It wants to monopolize the power to control the elections, but it doesn't want to foster the debate that I think elections need. This is in terms of the senators and the top four that serve the university. Those are very important positions. I don't feel like the court has done a good enough job in publicizing the elections or fostering debate amongst the candidates. Do you plan to do that?
I would hope so, since that's one of the main jobs of the court is to publicize the elections. And I would say that with since this is my first year and my experience by just being a student on campus and viewing these elections, I do have to say that the slates did a pretty good job of trying to publicize themselves. I feel that the court itself has to do a better job of publicizing the elections as the students have the chance to actually make a decision and make an impact on the way that money and other resources are actually attributed throughout the university by taking the students who they represent. And when it came down to it, it just seems that it was more of who could get their name out more the fastest and who had the better ideas when it came down to it. Because really when I'm sitting there, when looking at the two sides, I saw cardinal direction and elevate, and there was a big thing there. With the idea of the debate, I completely agree with you. I went to the one president debate that I witnessed, and that would seem like the only area in which candidates were able to actually get the word out. Because as you said, you can't win if you're on a slate. Well, we're voting for individuals on those slates, and I think the court has to do a better job of actually getting those people and what their opinions are on a certain situation.
I have a more specific question, which is, will you, as Curtis said tonight, this body gives the Supreme Court its legitimacy. We work within a system. The Supreme Court only ever holds debate for the top four. There's a whole branch of government that is never represented, and that's the Senate branch. And now, in terms of the slates getting their word out, I think that's completely separate from the court's job with its control of the elections to foster the election process. Will you hold more than one debate, and will you hold presidential debate, and will you hold multiple Senate debates in the future?
I would love to. If you would approve it too. I'd be in favor of that.
And I have one final question, and that's we've heard President Abari's reason for choosing both you and Brenda McReynolds is because you have experience and you've proven yourself and that you're hard workers, you're willing to do the right thing. And that's apparently not what the court has done, but I know that members of the court have experience in jurisprudence. They're on debate teams, they're on other forums, so what specific legal, I know that you're a great worker and all that, but what specific legal background do you have? The court has an awesome power, and that's to decide elections as it sees fit. Inevitably, there's always going to be an election where a large amount, where everyone goes in big and they try to completely discredit the other side of the slate for no reason. So you have the power to decide elections, essentially. So I'm wondering what your specific legal ability is.
I want to go ahead and just speak real quick. The court does not decide elections. The court interprets the facts presented to it and gives an opinion on that. Because now the outcome of that decision may decide an election, but an opinion, a ruling, a vote is not the decision of the election. The court is not this unbeing body that says you are the person that shall take power next year. They give an opinion based on the facts presented. I'm talking about this court case here. They give an opinion on that. They look at the paper. That's what they see. They see no face. They see the paper. They're not deciding the election. They're making a ruling based on that paper. So I'm just on his behalf and saying not predicting. This court will not decide elections.
I see that point. I think we're getting into semantics, but the question, as you stated, there are facts put before you. My question deals with with candidates' ability to interpret those facts. And the question is experience in jurisprudence and legal background.
Tyler, I think I'm going to have to cut you off and move on to the next person. Sorry. Pooja, you're next.
I make a motion to vote on the two associates. Brandon, is that you're with?
No.
Doug, I'm sorry. Okay. I make a motion to vote on the associates Doug and Brad Hall for associate justice.
We're voting to vote. So all in favor of moving to the question, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Abstentions? Okay, we're voting on Doug Lesko and Brad Hall as the next two associate justices on the Supreme Court. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, looks like they're approved. We will move on to announcements. Paul.
I was going to say, I've been talking with Kuzla. Are there any people who are going to be senators next year here? I think we want to see help writing resolutions. We're going to have resolution workshops at some point in May to sit down and go over the basics and everything, so you all can be busy over the summer. Please don't have information about that later, but I'll be running for it.
Kyle.
SAB and Arts and Science Student Council have found fiesta right before and during the SGA banquet, so come to it or come to the building massages.
Cody.
This Friday at midnight, SAB's film committee is going to be showing the movie Fight Club. So we'd like to have you all come out to that.
Justine.
We're having a finals breakfast boost in the College of Education lobby Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. to 9:30, and read Mayor Davis.
UofL IT is hosting a migration clinic on Thursday in the SAC this Thursday as well as next Thursday. So if any institutions are having issues with that or questions, they will be in the SAC.
I just want to say it's been fun this last year working with you guys, and I personally will miss meeting every other Tuesday for Senate meetings.
Mike stole my thunder, but I do thank you all for an excellent year. It's been great. We've had our moments of tension, but we've also had very productive, meaningful discussions, debates, and bills really out of the Senate this year. So I want to thank you all for a great year, making it a great time to be an SGA. Also, graduation course, we're up here, so please come see me. So let's give ourselves a round of applause.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.